Good evening. Welcome to the December 11th regular meeting of the Rockville Center Board of Education. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Emergency exits are in the back on either side and on the front on either side. Any correspondence that can be posted has been posted. We have our student board member here with us tonight. Callie, I'm going to turn it over to you for your opportunity.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. This month, Mr. Gavin and I had a really good conversation about my role as Board of Ed liaison. Since this is a new position, I want to ensure that I'm making the best use of this role, and have been trying to get information from students on any issues, concerns, and positive feedback about their experience at Southside. As a liaison, it would also be great to hear from the board about any specific topics or issues they'd like me to report back to student government, either for comments, feedback, or just pass on information. So I just wanted to remind everyone to please feel free to bring to my attention or reach out to me with any board topics of discussion that you would like highlighted to the student body or student government. While I've been reaching small groups of students with my own Google form, just after the holidays, I'm planning to work with SGA to craft a student government survey for the entire student body. While this will be a large undertaking, I hope that we can get a lot of student feedback that can be utilized by both the board and SGA, so if there's anything the board would like me to include in the survey, please let me know. Mr. Gavin and I also discussed sharing some aspects of the student experience at Southside. Especially for juniors and seniors, this is an extremely busy time. For juniors, there's the stress of new IB classes, prepping for the SAT and ACT, and starting to look at potential colleges. And seniors have all the stresses of college applications and acceptances. So I would just like to thank our teachers and guidance counselors for helping to guide us all through this process and aid us during this demanding time of year. Finally, just as a general announcement for the board and the community, I would like to congratulate all of our fall sports teams on their wins, as well as the cast and crew of Puffs on an amazing show. Thank you and happy holidays, everyone.
Thank you, Callie. Well done. We have many students with us this evening. Are there any students that want to come and address the board before they're recognized for their achievements? Okay. Mr. Gavin, we'll turn it over to recognition of students.
Thank you, President Barry. I'd like to welcome our athletic director, Mr. McGuire, here, who will lead us through tonight's recognitions.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Gavin, Board of Education, Rockville Center community members, student athletes, and coaches. Thank you so much for this opportunity to recognize our fall student athletes and teams. It was truly a remarkable fall, and I'm just happy to celebrate our wonderful student athletes and coaches, as I said before. Before I get started recognizing them, we had 216 students. 79% of our varsity athletes have a 90 GPA or better. That is Every one of our fall varsity teams were a scholar athlete team, so congratulations. And I'm going to go in alphabetical order. First up, girls varsity cross country. The girls varsity cross country team had an exceptional season, finishing with an 11-2 record and securing the division championship. The following athletes earned Nassau County and/or New York State honors. Sue Maria Sharon, All County. Frankie McKenna, and they can come up. They're coming up. Yeah. Frankie McKenna, All County. And Phyla Allison, she was All State, All County, and a Nassau County champion. Phyla had a remarkable season. She was ranked #1 in the 5K in Nassau County, running a blistering 18:31 to win the Nassau County Championship. Furthermore, she earned all-state honors by finishing 17th in the New York State Cross Country Championships and was invited to the prestigious New York State Federation meet, where the best runners in New York State public and private schools compete. She came in 57th out of 250 runners at the Federation meet, and additionally, she was just named a News 12 Scholar Athlete and gave a wonderful interview with Kevin Marr. I don't think the coaches are here, but I just want to say they're coached by Coach Webster, Coach Ryan, and Coach Duggan. All right, girls varsity field hockey. The Southside girls varsity, yeah. The Southside girls varsity field hockey team in their first year in existence had a remarkable season, finishing with an impressive 12-3-1 record. This outstanding performance secured the Conference 2 championship title. In addition to the conference title, the girls defeated Seaford 2-1 in the quarterfinals and making it to a semifinal showdown with Garden City. Please welcome Tara Cody, Genevieve Riley, Lily Conlin, Callie Mann, Kelsey Cavanaugh, Sky Corton, Kaylin Conlin, and girls, you can come up. Yeah. I'm just noticing no one's walking up to the front. Maggie Fox, Molly Gominiak, Lauren Lozito, Austin Finnegan, Kira Hill, Nora Tarpey, Madeline Napolitano, Charlotte Thompson, Olivia Riameo, Kira McNamara, Ella Brackstad, Lily Iandierio, Haley Spillane, Madeline Soto, Mia DeSalvo, Rita Falanga, Lila Murphy, Reese Long, Charlie Testerman, Sophia Jackson, and Coach Angelica Gargiulo and Coach Gianna Moro. The following athletes and coaches earned Nassau County honors. Reese Long, All-County. Charlie Testerman, All-County Exceptional Senior. Sky Corton, All-County Honorable Mention. Lauren Lozito, All-Conference. Austin Finnegan, All-Conference. Rita Falanga, All-League. Kaylin Conlin, Unsung Hero. Olivia Riameo, Scholar Athlete. And Coach Gargiulo, Conference 2 Coach of the Year. Congratulations, girls. Congratulations, coaches. Varsity football. The varsity football team earned the number 2 seed in the playoffs, defeating Elmont 9-6 to move on to the Conference 3 semifinal playoff round. The award winners for football include Jaden Johnson, All-County, AJ Magarachi, All-County, Ryan Healy, All-County, and Brendan Vetter, All-County. Varsity football is coached by Coach Inesto, Coach Lessick, Coach Horrell, Coach Smaldone, and Coach Kell. Great job, guys. Boys varsity golf. Oh, no applause? The Southside boys varsity golf team had a remarkable season, finishing with an impressive 11-1 record. This outstanding performance earned them the conference championship title for the second consecutive year. As the team transitions to the postseason in the spring, we eagerly anticipate their continued success and look forward to cheering them on. Please welcome Peter Altman, Brendan Barry, Caden Belling, Ryan Bernabeu, Liam Conlin, Angelo Evstathia, Kevin Farina, James Gilbert, Luca Icabellis, Cole Perna, Matthew Regan, Aiden Roach Fleming, Aiden Sullivan, Lachlan Tarpey, Peter Tumanello, Stellan Zangari, and Coach Russ Hornig. There you go, boys. The following athletes earned Nassau County honors: Ryan Bernabeu, All-County, All-Conference; James Gilbert, All-County Honorable Mention, All-Conference; Matt Regan, All-Conference; Lachlan Tarpey, All-Conference; and Peter Tumanello, All-Conference. Good job, guys. All right, boys varsity soccer. The boys varsity soccer team celebrated a highly successful regular season, concluding with an impressive 15-0-2 record. Their strong performance led them to win the Class AA3 conference title. The team carried this momentum into the playoffs, where they faced Glen Cove in the Class AA quarterfinal round. In a thrilling and memorable match, the team engineered a dramatic come-from-behind 4-3 victory to advance. Their remarkable run culminated in the Class AA semifinal round of the playoffs. Please welcome Ryan Hoffman, Gavin McDade, Colin Levine, Ryan O'Keefe, Carter Cashow, Liam McLaughlin, Canary Mesquita, Caden Infante, Michael Forker, Jack Darlington, Travis Rose, CJ Brower, Luke Ferrari, Lucas Baum, Lucas Suarez, Damian D'Antonio, Mike Matarana, Lucas DeMarco, Nick DiMario, Matt Prezioso, Declan O'Toole, Christian Hackett, Mason Wu, Noah Porter, Teddy Fitzgerald, Chris Monroy, manager Tyler Samrani, manager Matt McKeough, head coach Pat Corvetti, and assistant coaches Chuck Phelan, Will Murray, and Matteo Romanello. The following athletes earned Nassau County honors: Gavin McDade, All-County, Conference Goalie of the Year; Jack Darlington, All-County; Carter Cashow, All-County, Conference Defensive Player of the Year; Ryan O'Keefe, All-County Honorable Mention; Mason Wu, All-County Honorable Mention; Travis Rose, All-County Honorable Mention; Teddy Fitzgerald, All-Conference; Colin Levine, All-Conference; Mike Matarana, All-Conference; and Canary Mesquita, All-Conference. All right, girls varsity soccer. The girls varsity soccer team had a remarkable season, finishing with a record of 11-4-1 against tough competition. Their victories over Belmore JFK and an exciting game against MacArthur propelled them to the Nassau County Championship against Garden City. The girls defeated the Trojans in a thriller, ending in penalty kicks, securing the title as the Class AA Nassau County champion. We are incredibly proud of their hard work and dedication throughout the season. Please welcome Abby Gruner, Anna King, Summer Stack, Sophia Anna Sansel, Bobby Creo, Julie Ferranda, Maeve Martin, Molly Barry, Aaliyah Cadigan, Katori Martin, Brooke DeResti, Madalena Suarez, Sophia Corvetti, Caitlin McNulty, Katie Kolich, May Fenora, Natalie Camilleri, Ella Ferranda, Molly Reardon, Olivia Cariciolo, Molly Batkin, Viv Haley, Kenzie Cashaw, Abby Smith, Kylie Barry, Mackenzie Dunphy, Maddie Wu, Juliette Diorio, head coach Judy Crotier, assistant coaches Trish Beaumont, Kelsey Gregerson, and Sue Quilty. The following athletes earned Nassau County, Long Island, and/or New York State honors: Brooke DeResti, third team All-State, first team All-Long Island, Conference Player of the Year, and All-County; Sophia Anna Sansel, All-County; Julie Ferranda, All-County; Abby Gruner, All-County Honorable Mention; Katori Martin, All-County Honorable Mention; Natalie Camilleri, All-County Honorable Mention. Summer Stack, All-County Honorable Mention. Molly Barry, All-Conference. Maddie Wu, All-Conference. And Molly Reardon, Senior Scholar Athlete. All right, boys varsity volleyball. The boys varsity volleyball team had a wonderful season, going 17-5, making it to the semifinal round of the Division II playoffs. The award winners for this season include John Pericolosi as Conference Player of the Year and All-County. That's the second year in a row John has earned Conference Player of the Year in All-County. Great job, John. The boys varsity volleyball team is coached by Coach D'Angelo and Coach Nugent. All right, the girls volleyball team, actually they have their Nassau County dinner tonight, so unfortunately the coaches and athletes will not be in attendance, but we will celebrate them at the January 15th Board of Ed meeting. So I just want to give you a little recap of their incredible season. So the girls varsity volleyball team had an unbelievable season, as I just said, winning their conference with a 17-1 record. The Lady Cyclones had impressive wins, starting with a 3-0 victory over Plainedge to repeat as Class A Nassau County champions. This was followed by, yeah, it's great. This was followed by a gritty 3-2. They were down 2-1. Didn't look good, but a 3-2 victory over Half Hollow Hills West to win the Long Island Championship, which this year was a sub-regional. Typically, it's a regional game. And then we had to play an additional game because of this new regional rotation that I will not get into now, but I'm not a big fan of it. So we were, it was a 3-1 victory over Rye to win the regional championship and an amazing 5-set match against Williamsville South to win the Class A New York State Championship. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So I just want to highlight them, and we will celebrate them at the next Board of Education meeting. So a couple of announcements before I depart for the evening. The first one, we had a special announcement today from the New York State Athletic Administrators Association. So each year they select deserving individuals who have a profound impact on their local athletic communities. And this year, we are truly lucky enough to honor our Southside Athletics Administrative Assistant, Lydia Dorfline, with the prestigious Bondering Westring Award. This award is given to an assistant of an athletic administrator who displays devotion to duty, commitment to excellence, and a love of children. So I had something written down, but Lydia, I'm going to speak directly to you. And you are the heart and soul of the athletic department. I am so thankful for working with you each and every day. It was an absolute privilege and honor. And we couldn't do what we do on a daily basis without you. So I'm so grateful and thankful. And I can't wait to celebrate you in June at the Todd Heimer. And, you know, you're amazing. So thank you. Thank you. I just have one more. All right, we found out from Congresswoman Gillen from her office, I'm forgetting the day, maybe it was yesterday, that she'll be giving a speech on the House floor tomorrow, and she'll be honoring our girls' varsity volleyball team. So she's going to honor them in that speech. It's at 9 a.m. I didn't get a chance to do it today, but I'm going to send it out through Parent Square tomorrow at 8 a.m. You know, the honors continue for this team, and we're happy about that. And thank you so much, Board of Ed, Mr. Gavin, everyone else, student athletes, you guys are the best. Coaches, thank you so much for everything that you do in support of our athletes, and go Cyclones. Thank you.
Mr. McGuire, don't go anywhere just yet, please. Don't go anywhere just yet. There was also another award that we were notified about 2 o'clock today. Athletics is all about teamwork, and you heard from Ms. Dorfline, and we thank her for her contributions all the time. We heard from all the amazing accomplishments of our athletes and our coaches for this year, but that starts at the top, and that starts with our athletic director, Pat McGuire, who we found out today You got cheers. They like it. We found out today has been awarded the Liam Frawley Emerging Athletic Administrator Award. So this is... If you're not sure if he's comfortable with this, he is not. But it is well-deserved. All of the things that make your successes possible come from your parents' support, obviously, your coach's support, but it's through his work and Lydia's work that all of this gets done. We are basically running travel teams in all of these different sports at all of these different levels all the time for 200 and something athletes every season. So this is hard work. This requires, and he's at every game he's at. And even if he's not, you kind of think he was there for a little bit. It's truly amazing what he does, and we are so thankful for his work, and great job, Patrick. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
We have a picture now with you and Lydia, okay? So don't go anywhere.
On behalf of the board, we just want to congratulate all of our student athletes and thank the coaches as well, and congratulations to Mr. McGuire. At this time, if you need to get home and get some homework done, have a good night, everybody. Mr. Gavin, Superintendent's report.
Thank you, President Barry. This week, I want to talk a little bit about Inclusive Schools Week. I'll give him a second. I'll walk out. All right. This week, Rockville Center Schools celebrates Inclusive Schools Week. We have had many events at all of our buildings, and we want to thank all of the PTA, the SEP, Ms. Dalton, and all of our teachers and principals that have planned so many wonderful events that have happened this week that recognize the contributions of all of our students and the unique and wonderful gifts that they are each and every day. I do want to highlight one event that's happening tomorrow. That is a direct result of the support of the Board of Education. Last year, we approved a unified theater class at the high school. Tomorrow, our unified theater class will be performing for the first time. So thank you to the board for their support. They will be performing a series of choreographed songs and dances. Thanks to Mrs. Brown for her direction, Mr. Downey for his ukulele playing, and Ellie Rubin and Paige McDonald for their choreography. So we're really excited about that class. And we're really thankful for the board for starting it. And it's been a wonderful experience so far, and we look forward to many, many performances in the future. Also, our Southside Middle School Band has been invited to perform the national anthem at the Long Island Nets CYO night on January 23rd, 2026. Like last year's Long Island Ducks performance, this event provides our students with an exceptional opportunity to represent the district on one major community stage, performing in a professional arena before a large audience. The performance will take place during a special evening that also includes the Long Island Nets celebration of Dale the Eagle's birthday. Our Southside Middle School musicians will open the event at 7 p.m. That is my report, Madam President.
Thank you. We have an acceptance of a gift this evening.
We do. Hold on. Wrong page. Oh, we had a donation from Backyard Players of a washing machine and dryer set that we're going to put in our life skills program at the high school. We're very excited about that, and we're so grateful for our partnership with Backyard Players as well.
Yes, It's agreed. Thank you so much to the Backyard Players. Can I have a motion to accept the gift? Second? All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Items for information this evening, we have the high school data presentation.
We do. I'd like to welcome Dr. Walsh and his team this evening to present the results from Southside High School.
Thank you, Mr. Gavin. Thank you, Central Administration and Board of Education, for welcoming me tonight. I'm thrilled to present the results analysis for 2024-2025. Before I get started, congratulations to all of our fall athletes, as well as Ms. Dorfline and Mr. McGuire. Tremendous achievements to deserving students and faculty. We'd like to start off our presentation by citing the district's mission statement. This newly revised mission statement helps guide us in the work that we do each and every day with our students. I hope throughout the presentation you see some of the lines and the emphasis because it's guiding us in the work that we do in our conversations with staff and our work with students, as well as our strategic plan and building and district goals. Before we get into the data, I want to review the different types of diplomas that students can earn upon graduation. The first is a Regents diploma. Students have to show proficiency, a passing score of 65 on 5 Regents exams, 1 Math Regents, 1 Science Regents, the English Regents, 1 Social Studies Regents, and 1 Pathway. That could be a 5th Regents exam, most commonly in Social Studies, but it could also be in Math or Science. It could also be through another pathway, through career and technical education or career development and occupational studies, other pathways that are approved by the state. The Advanced Regents diploma signifies that the student has progressed through the most rigorous coursework that we have at the Regents level. Students must show proficiency on 3 Math Regents exams, 2 Science exams, the English Regents, 1 Social Studies Regents, 1 Pathway that was described before, and in addition to that, 2 additional credits in world language and passing of the Checkpoint B exam. Another option would be a 5-unit sequence in the arts or a 5-unit sequence in career and technical education. Last year, our graduating class of 2025 graduated with a 98% Regents diploma rate. This is very much consistent with prior trends at our school. The Advanced Regents diploma rate for the class of 2025 was 77%. As you can see at the bottom, we looked at comparison to see how we're doing relative to the region. While we don't have the data yet, it has not been published for the class of 2025 countywide, we do have some historical data that show us that on average, Nassau County's students graduate with the Advanced Regents diploma in the mid to low 60s. This puts Southside High School ahead of the county in that regard. You might notice that based on prior years, there is a slight dip. We would like to note that there are numerous factors that influence the students earning an Advanced Regents diploma rate from cohort to cohort. Some of those factors include class size, class trends and enrollment, course options offered at the school, other options that are at play. We are happy to report that next year we expect the Advanced Regents diploma rate to bounce back into the mid to low 80s. And I do want to emphasize that our philosophy has not changed. We encourage all of our students to pursue the most rigorous coursework that's appropriate to them at the given time. We're here to support them and be there as they challenge themselves to pursue, again, the most rigorous courses that we do have to offer at the school. Some more data on the Regents with Advanced designation rates. For certain subgroups of students, our students with disabilities and students who are historically disadvantaged by race earn the Advanced Regents diploma at a higher clip than their peers in Nassau County. This is something of immense pride for our building. Our students who are economically disadvantaged earn at a similar clip from their peers in Nassau County as well. The following chart indicates the June 2025 Regents exam results for our high school. On the left-hand side, it lists the Regents exam and the total number of students who sat for the exam. The middle column shows the passing rate on the exam, which is earned by earning a score of 65 on the exam. The regional gap refers to the difference between our school and the region. A positive score indicates that our school scored above the county in that mark. And as you can see, for all of our exams, we've earned a positive score above the region. Physics right at the mark. You'll notice algebra is down at the bottom. The vast majority of our students in Southside High School take algebra in 8th grade. As you can see by the small sample size, 23 students took the exam with us last year. Those students are sometimes taking this for a second or possibly third time. We also have students who are transfer students that are with us as well too. On the right-hand column is the mastery rate. Mastery is earned by students earning a score of 85 or above on that exam. I do want to point out that through our instructional models and assessment, mastery remains our goal for all students in the building. So this is something that we strive for and we work with our teachers for to push our students towards. It is definitely the overarching goal of our Regents program. I think you'll see with some positive results in ELA, positive gaps between the county, living environment, as well as U.S. history, there are a lot of things to be proud of. We also use the data at our hand to make adjustments and modifications where we need to try to help improve these results. We look at data as a tool for consistent improvement. And when we use it as a tool, it can be really powerful in our instruction and in our assessment. So for example, some of the gap reports that were given from BOCES give us great information about how our students perform. So for example, we were able to see that for global example, some of our students struggle on the essay portion. So as a direct result, we've started to inform our professional learning for our teachers as a result. This year, we're rolling out the writing revolution to all of our staff in terms of professional learning. Get all of teachers getting a 6-hour course in that as part of their professional learning plan. We're doing this so that there's a common language around writing. We're encouraging and empowering our staff to be able to do these activities within their classes and help students in an area that we've seen as an area for growth. Sometimes we notice there are certain topics or skills that students might need help on. So for example, to use the global example again, we can find information that a topic like, for example, the Tokugawa and Mughal empires might have been an area that needed to be focused on a little bit more. So as a result, we're working backwards. Where is it found in our curriculum? Does there need to be more reinforcement or maybe taught a different way? So when we use the data in this form, we're confident that our teachers are working efficiently. They're getting the information that they need to make informed decisions in the classroom to best support our students where we know they need that to be. In continuing with that, in discussion with our English teachers, for example, just to provide more context, every subject is different. So when we look at results in English, we know that our students do particularly well on the essay. But in our conversations with teachers, they noted that our students in particular struggle with the multiple choice version, which we found interesting. So when we uncovered more information, we learned that they needed a little more practice reading long-form passages and applying the multiple choice concepts within there. So the moral of this story is really that when we use the data as a tool for improvement, every subject is a little bit different, but when we put it in the hands of our teachers, we know that they're making informed decisions and putting our students in the best possible way to be successful. We also felt it was important to look at the data over time. We know that in any given 1 year, there can be fluctuations. So by looking at the data over the course of 3 years, we can look to establish trends. So as you can see for the passing rate, in terms of our comparison to the county, our school is above the county consistently, and that is something that we're very much proud of. Same concept with mastery. We wanted to take a look and see if there were noticeable trends that we could take a look at. So when we looked a little bit further at some of the data, what you might notice for ELA is there was a little bit of a subtle decline in terms of the gap between us and the county. When we uncovered a little bit more information about that, we came to learn there were a large percentage of students in the last 2 years that were 1 credit short of mastery, much more so than in the 2022-2023 year. So we found that to be interesting. It doesn't mean that we're not still looking at the things we can do better, but it does provide some additional context. So when it underscores the importance of us continuously looking at the data, asking the right questions, and seeing where are the pockets of improvement that we can look to. This slide shows the Regents summary for elective exams, and they refer to the elective exams as the exams that are not required for the Regents diploma. So those are referred to as geometry, algebra 2, chemistry, and physics. So I'm going to walk through this table because it tells a really important story about the student performance at this building. On the left-hand side, you see the results from Southside High School, and on the right-hand side, you see Nassau County averages. The column with the green check indicates the percent of students passing the exam, and that's something we looked at in prior slides. And as you can see in these subject areas, our students outperform the county in these subject areas, and they're right at the mark with physics. But that only tells part of the story. Because these are elective exams, it's crucial to look at who in the building is actually taking these exams, since all do not have to, in terms of earning the Regents diploma. That's where the blue column comes in, where we look at the percent of the cohort taking the exam. So this factors in participation. So as you can see by the data, our students overwhelmingly participate in these exams, more so on average than other students in the county. So when you take those two pieces together, you get that third column, which is the orange column with the check, where it's the percent of cohort passing the exam. And what basically that does is it brings those two concepts together. It brings achievement and participation and puts them together. Of the eligible kids in your building who could take the exam, what percent have success and pass? And this is where our school really shines. As you can see the differences between us and other averages in the county, we see increased participation and success. And this is important because we want to make sure if we're having many students participate, we also want success to follow. And this slide indicates that that's happening. We also offer AP courses at Southside High School in our math and computer science areas. The first three classes are predominantly taken by 12th graders: AP Calc AB, AP Calc BC, and AP Statistics. As you can see, we saw a nice subtle bump in Calc AB. Scores were consistent in Calc BC, and we had a nice jump in AP Statistics. Our computer science program has grown over the years, which we're really excited for. AP Computer Science principals had consistent results, and last year was the first year we offered our new AP Computer Science A class, with 22 students sitting for the exam. Looking at the data, you might wonder, what was the drop-off for the students in AP Computer Science principals? We went from 58 to 21 students. It should be pointed out that in 23-24, that was the first year we offered the course, so we had a big rush of students that were interested in taking the class across all grade levels. After that, it sort of leveled out because students who wanted it had mostly already taken it. So in the next school year, we had 21 students, predominantly ninth graders, enroll in that class, which is a really healthy number for where that class should be. So we're excited to see the continued growth of this program. We still see the demand. I was in a computer science A class a couple days ago, and the students are really passionate about the content and the material and the pathways that we've sort of established within the computer science program. We also felt it was important to take a look at the advanced placement IB math participation in our school. We feel that this is important because 4 years of rigorous math helps students develop problem-solving skills, critical thinking, logistical reasoning skills, and when we know that they have 4 years of high-level math on their transcript, that helps them in the college application process. We are thrilled to report that 72% of graduating seniors last year finished their math experience with one of these courses, which is a terrific number. If you look in Nassau County, that number is only around 40%. This is really important because we know that, again, when these students have access to these courseworks, they're developing skills that we know are going to last a lifetime. You might have also noticed that the AP Calc and BC numbers, in terms of just numbers, were a little bit down in the class of 2025. We acknowledge that there was a small class size, so that had something a little bit to do with it, but we were curious of where we were going. We want to look at the data in the now, but also in the future. And we're happy to report that the number of students in Calc AB and BC for next year is jumping up to about 25% of the cohort, which is a very healthy number. Also, when we reallocate this total of total students in any 4 of these courses, that number jumps to 85%. So we're very much optimistic about the course selection process and the opportunities that students are taking in the area of math. The college credit opportunity slide indicates the advancements in dual enrollment offerings that we've been offering here at Southside. 3 years ago, we had 10 courses at the building that were offered for college credit. Last year, that number jumped to 21, and this year, we are proud to offer a total of 25 different courses at our high school that are dual enrolled with a local college or university for credit. We've also expanded our partnerships from 2 universities to 5, and these have opened up doors and opportunities for students in a variety of ways. So why is this important? Why is this something that we think is good for our community and for our students? Well, first, we know that students can earn credits at a much significantly reduced rate as opposed to when they'll be paying when they arrive at the college or university. Also, these students who go into that first year with a significant number of credits under their belt have flexibility when it comes to setting up their schedule and a little bit of breathing room in terms of trying to make that adjustment a good one. It also helps with the transcript. When they're able to put on their transcript a class that has been either dual enrolled or offered through IB or AP, these present really good opportunities for them to distinguish and separate themselves. I would also point out that we have a lot of accessible courses on this list as well. So this is not just a course of advanced coursework necessarily. There are courses that are highly populated by students who just have passions and interests towards something. So we feel that we are hitting a wide net of students through this program, and we're giving them opportunities to get ahead in an area of post-secondary. This slide is always one that we take great pride in. The graduating class of 2025, 86% of them finished their high school career with one or more college level class under their belt. And we mapped it out, 3, 5, and 7. You can see the percentages of students with those. And all the way down to 10 or more college level classes, more than half of our students, 53% of our graduates, had 10 or more college level classes under their belt. And for the purpose of this discussion, we've defined a college class as either an IB course, an AP course, or a course that we partner with for a local university for college credit. The New York State offers a variety of diploma seals to students. One is the seal of civic readiness, and the second is the seal of biliteracy. We've taken great pride over the years in increasing the percentage of the cohort who've earned these seals. This is important for a number of reasons. One being the obvious, being a credential for students to be able to reference on a transcript or on an application. But it also creates a really great opportunity for them to engage in really meaningful experiences. It also aligns with the Blue Ribbon Commission changes that are coming down about pathways and areas of interest and showing knowledge outside of a classroom test. So both of these give students opportunities to demonstrate their knowledge in a little bit of a different way. We're also really thrilled that our social studies department has plans to incorporate an activity within the History 12 class that will give students a direct leg up in making sure they complete the required elements of the requirements of the Civic Seal. They also plan to provide time for support for students to do the application, fill out the application, get support, so that we hope that number jumps up. Ms. Green and the World Language Facilitator have been working diligently on the Seal of Biliteracy. They've been going into classrooms and informing students about it and providing great support and encouragement to those students as well. So we look forward to seeing continued growth of the program. Okay, at this time, I'd like to turn over the presentation to our Assistant Principal and IB Coordinator, Ms. Andrea Darby.
Thank you, Dr. Walsh, and thank you to Mr. Gavin, Central Administration, and the Board of Education for inviting us here to share our IB results tonight. IB programs aim to develop inquiring, knowledgeable, and caring young people. Through the adoption of the learner profile and the incorporation of the approaches of teaching and learning, students develop skills and competencies for post-secondary success. Students who choose to participate in our IB program at Southside can do so in 2 ways. The first way is as a full IB diploma candidate. Students who choose this pathway take 6 IB courses from each of the core content areas. 3 or 4 of these courses are at the higher level. The remaining 2 or 3 courses are at the standard level. The difference between higher level and standard level courses is a matter of time, not necessarily rigor or challenge. Higher level courses require 240 hours or 2 years of instruction. Standard level courses require 150 hours and can be taught in 1 year or in 2 years when it is in the best interest of the student. In addition to the 6 IB classes, students also complete the core elements consisting of extended essay, theory of knowledge, and community action service, or CAS. Each IB course is graded on a scale of 1 to 7. DP candidates need to accumulate 24 points to earn the IB diploma. The second way that students can participate is as course candidates. These students take 1, 2, 3, or more IB courses in junior or senior year. We have students taking unique combinations of courses such as IB Physics and Chemistry, Music and Theater, Language and Literature and Math Applications, Visual Arts, History, and the list goes on and on. One further point of clarification here, the IB diploma is a separate credential from the New York Regents or Advanced Regents diplomas. IB diploma candidates leave high school with a highly regarded, internationally recognized credential, in addition to the Regents or Advanced Regents diploma. It's important to note that we have open access to IB courses at Southside. While some schools have gates built into course sequencing that keep some students from IB coursework, we keep the door open for all students who want to challenge IB level coursework or the full diploma. We have much to celebrate when considering our IB program at Southside. Included on this slide are pictures from our inaugural research trip to Hofstra University. Last week, our junior diploma candidates visited the Hofstra Library and Art Museum. These students received a lesson on research methods from a Hofstra librarian and experienced a theory of knowledge-style inquiry-based lesson led by museum educators in the Art Museum. Students walked away with sources for their extended essay, but it's their anecdotal feedback that I believe speaks directly to the value of the trip. Some students remarked how reassuring it was to learn that the skills required for extended essay and their IB assessments are the same skills required in university. Other students, having never been to a college campus before, were surprised at how focused the college students were in both the library and cafeteria as they studied for finals. Still, others remarked at how big the campus was and how many resources were available in the sprawling library. It's no wonder that recent data from the National Student Clearinghouse shows that participation in IB coursework has a positive impact on college enrollment, perseverance, and on on-time graduation. IB programs provide students with a well-rounded education and encourage students to expand their skills across content areas, making connections within and across subject areas. These pictures are a small snapshot of the many ways our IB students demonstrate critical thinking, creativity, empathy, and open-mindedness, traits valued by our community and embodied within the learner profile. We are certainly proud of our students and of our expanded community partnerships. Last year, 21% of the class earned the IB diploma with a success rate of 61%. This slide compiles 3 years of data, but when we consider historical data, our success rate is usually around 2/3 of the cohort, and the 2025 score is within this range. Last year, 13 students missed earning the diploma by 1 point, while 4 students did not achieve the required 12 higher level points. In these circumstances, we make every effort to advocate for these students by requesting an inquiry upon results, formally asking the IB to reevaluate the students' assessments when a case can be made on their behalf. The fact that 81% of our IB diploma candidates either earned a diploma or came within a point underscores the quality of our instruction we provide and the vitality of the IB program at Southside. We also know, based on research, that it's the pursuit of the diploma that builds research skills, organizational skills, and time management skills. Overall, 68% of scores were 4 and above, demonstrating proficiency in a college-level course. 33% of our 2025 graduates pursued the full IB diploma while at Southside, but to further contextualize, I've just finished registering 40% of the class of 2026 as full IB diploma candidates. We have strong participation in our IB diploma program. As a regional IB Association president, I can say that our participation rate is sizable when compared to area public schools, in part due to our open access. Students make choices regarding their junior and senior year schedules with the guidance of counselors, teachers, and parents. A source of continued pride for us is that all our students at Southside can access an IB education through DP coursework. When we analyze our subject results, we also take into consideration students' access to this coursework. For our higher level subjects, the average score in English was 4.14. This is notable because English is our most inclusive course with 163 enrolled last year. History is another inclusive subject with 155 students enrolled last year and a 3.59 average score. Our average score is reflective of global trends as the global average in history is lower than English and has remained as such over time. Notable here is our median score of a 4 because the majority of students enrolled in history earned proficiency last year. The median score is also a pertinent data point for our courses with lower enrollment because it accounts for the existence of outlier numbers, both low and high, within a small sample size. The median score achieved in all Group 6 classes, for example, or the arts, was a 4 in 2025. Full diploma candidates take 3 or up to 4 higher level courses that contribute to their finer diploma score. In choosing higher level courses, all students, both diploma and course candidates, consider their academic interests and skills as well as their post-secondary goals. There are no prerequisites for our IB Business, Film, Theater, and Music courses, and the only prerequisite for IB Visual Arts is completion of any previous art class. Similarly, while our higher level biology, chemistry, and physics students have taken science before at the Regents or standard level, we know that for some students, the higher level science course might be a reach, and a worthy one for a student who wants to pursue a career in STEM or the health professions. At the standard level, we exceeded the global average in math analysis with a 4.85 average in 2025. These 73 students have the opportunity to move on to AP Calculus AB or BC in senior year, challenging math courses at the most rigorous level. Our physics and environmental systems averages, while not at the global average, are notable, again, because of our large enrollment comparative to other diploma programs. I'll add here that many regional IB schools only offer 2 or 1 IB sciences at the higher level, or 2 or 1 at the standard level. We offer IB Sciences in 4 different subjects, with many students taking more than one IB Science class towards their diploma, and a possible 3rd class, usually IB Physics higher level, as an additional course or 7th IB course, beyond the diploma's required 6 courses. I'd also like to highlight our IB Spanish standard level and IB French standard level results. Our students earned 4.25 and 4 respectively in these subjects, representing an 87% pass rate in Spanish and 85% pass rate in French. We are happy to report that an incredible 45% of the class of 2025 was enrolled in an IB World Language class, yet another way that our students distinguish themselves at Southside High School. As I turn the presentation back to Dr. Walsh, I will say that while it's impossible for me to capture in this presentation the myriad ways that our students lean into the IB Learner Profile every day, I can shed light on the spirit of the program just in the past week. Our students are applying their knowledge from the Hofstra chip to their extended essay, engage in inquiry while working on science experiments in the theory of knowledge essay, demonstrating creativity in their musical and theatrical performance, or while dancing alongside Alvin Alley dancers on a recent field trip. They are caring, raising funds for Help International through the annual bead sale, participating in the annual blood drive and Inclusive Schools Week. They are open-minded risk takers, sharing their knowledge of African communities in elementary classrooms for a CAS project, and reflective communicators asking questions like, what is justice, as Carl Wilkins' presentation on Rwanda, past and present. So now I'd like to turn it back to Dr. Walsh.
Thank you, Ms. Darby. Perfect lead-in to the next phase of this presentation. As a comprehensive high school, our goal is to create well-rounded students, ones who are able to pursue and find their passions each and every day. We have many students in the area of career prep that have been supported through the school district through a variety of ways. Last year, we had 24 students participate in the BOCES Barry Tech vocational program. 16 seniors participated in that program as well. Interestingly enough, this morning I was over at BOCES Barry Tech this morning for a Nassau County principals meeting, and I was given a tour by one of our juniors who's in the program, and he was showing me around the different programs that they have there, and I was able to see many of our students in action at the program, which was a really helpful experience for me. And what I can report back is that when these students are engaged in their passions, they light up. They're excited about learning, they're excited about growing, they're excited about their future. So I did just want to point that out and thank the board and the central administration for their support of our students in this program. We do appreciate it. As well, our students in our special ed program are getting extensive job training and career prep through programs like Abilities, as well as both in-house and local businesses partnerships. These students are getting career exploration, doing career inventories, learning a little bit about what their interests might be, and really important skills for them as they think about jobs post-secondary. The extracurricular programs at Southside are robust. We have 25 adult advisors in our Sources of Strength program, which is our social emotional support program. 67 peer leaders are involved in that program as well. Liberty Partnerships is a mentorship program that we've had at the high school program. We have 44 volunteer staff members who sign up to be mentors, providing guidance both from an academic lens, social emotional lens, and just help generally navigating life in 2025 for those students. We have over 60 active clubs offered at Southside High School, and many of these are a direct result of the passions and interests of our students. Most of them come from their ideas. And what's really nice about this, in addition to their increased collaboration with peers, staff members, these are all rooted in service. So these students are trying to give back to a community that has really given so much to them. This slide really deserves no introduction after you've seen many of our athletes earlier tonight show success on the field, but our athletic program is an extension of our classroom. Students who are our student athletes learn skills like leadership, perseverance, teamwork. All of these things are the skills that we're trying to get our students to exhibit each and every day. So the accolades that you see from last year are there. There are many. I'm not going to read through them all. I did feel compelled to put a picture of our volleyball team, even though that's this year, but I thought it was okay, being that they were state champions this year. But not to be undone, our girls soccer team who won the county championship, as well as a cross-country athlete who experienced great success this fall among the many team awards that we were able to accomplish this year. We're so proud of our athletes and our athletic program. Not to be undone is our Fine and Performing Arts program, which every performance that I seem to go to, I find myself leaving saying, I can't believe it got better than the last time I saw it. And that's no difference this year. In addition to our winter concerts, spring concerts, fall drama, spring musical, as well as individual accolades, our students are part of an award-winning program. And most importantly, it gives them a place to feel welcome, a place to showcase their talents, and we look forward to seeing their continued success in this area. So what do we do with all this information as we wrap this up? We center ourselves on the notion that data analysis is all about continuous improvement. It gives us information about our programs, our curriculum, our instructional models, and what can we do with that information to be better for students each and every day. Our teachers have had access to the gap reports and wrong answer summaries and are using that to inform their instruction. Every quarter, each grade has a common assessment where teachers are able to speak apples to apples with each other about common language on an assessment and progress to identify strengths and weaknesses and adjust instruction accordingly. We also gather feedback anecdotally from teachers and student groups. So I have a principal's advisory where I meet with students regularly to get information on their student experience at our school, as well as our Student Government Association. And we also meet with teacher leaders and teacher groups to find out what it is that's working in our school and what are ways in which we can make this place even better for our students and our staff. Professional learning has been driven by some of this information. So I mentioned before, the Writing Revolution rollout for our high school teachers this year was as a result of a need that we saw and a support that we wanted to provide to our teachers. It also helps with a common language, which is occurring K-12, so we see some consistency in how we teach writing and literacy in our school. Our science teachers were trained based on New York State curriculum changes, with our bio teachers rolling out this new curriculum last year after extensive training over the previous years leading up to those changes. And we're giving that same support to our chemistry and physics teachers who are in the process of preparing that for next year as well. I would also like to point out that Ms. Darby has secured IB training for all of our history teachers, regardless of whether they teach an IB course or not, in the spring. So we have some curriculum rewrites that are happening in IB 12 and IB 11, and we felt it was important and a good opportunity for all of these teachers to be trained, because we know that some of the models that are put forth in the IB, conceptual understanding, critical thinking, problem solving, transferring skills and knowledge are traits that we want all of our teachers to be able to show to our students, regardless of what class they're in. So we're really excited for that development. There are a number of measures of support that we give to students that might be struggling or maybe want some enrichment or something extra. Our extra help period is offered Monday through Friday, with the exception of Tuesdays on 0 period. We have a math resource center, which is staffed by a math teacher, periods 1 through 9, that gives help and assistance to students in math. Our writing center is in the library and is available for students who might need help with any writing assignments. And our Homework Helpers After School program is there for students who might need help completing homework, getting organized, things of that nature. Support and lab classes are built into the structure of the school day to provide support for students who might need a little extra. The good thing about those classes is that they are somewhat fluid, that if a student begins in a support class or a lab class and maybe by second semester has shown that they don't need the support, they can be removed. And vice versa. If first quarter rolls through and the student's in need of a little bit of additional support, they can add that to their schedule as a time during the day where they can get that support. We use data to identify those student needs, so frequently running reports to see, are we missing anybody? Are we making sure that we're catching all the students who might be struggling and putting that into action? And that's all culminated with the instructional support team. Right? That group is a group of counselors and social workers and administrators who meet and take referrals on students who are struggling. When those Tier 1 interventions have not been yielding success for students, this team gets together and helps brainstorm other options and solutions that might help the student and the family. And lastly, expanding community partnerships. I'm not going to read through each bullet, but this has been a goal of the district for a couple of years now, and we're starting to see firsthand the value of these partnerships and the experience that it's creating for our students and our staff. So Mr. Gavin always says that schools are a community organization, and these community partnerships are improving the experience for our students, and it's really win-win situations in both directions. So we're really starting to see those. I will note a couple, just again, not going to read through all the bullets, but the Malloy University Bloomberg certification has been wonderful for our students in financial investments. They've been getting trained under the Bloomberg certification. They're going to walk away with a credential at the end of the semester. Our wood design students visited the United Brotherhood Carpenters Training Facility in Hauppauge, so getting us insight into how what started off maybe as an interest or a passion could potentially turn into a career. And then other partnerships that you see there. We're excited to continue that work because it really does help us in the work we do each and every day. And then lastly, we just wanted to give an update on the new courses that we are running at Southside in 2025. And I pulled the line from the mission statement, creativity thrives and strive for excellence, because I think these two themes run through all of those courses. And I'm happy to report that we have 304 students in total that have taken advantage of those new courses. We're so appreciative of the support of the Board of Education and Central for allowing us to run these and provide these great experiences for students. Many of these were as a product of us listening to just the people that were in the room, essentially students coming forward, teachers, some administrators, community, of thoughts and ideas that might make our school better. And we were able to fit it into the master schedule. It aligned with our mission and vision, and financially we were able to make it work also. So it was one of those things that really just was a win-win situation. As we look to the future, we want to have our eye on the now, obviously, and how we're increasing the opportunities and experiences for students right now, but we're also thinking ahead as well. Ms. Darby, in her presentation, reported how we have somewhere between 35 and 45% of our students pursue the IB diploma, and that's a wonderful number. We're really thrilled about that. She underscored the value of that program. We've also identified an opportunity. There's a large number of students who don't choose to do that for a variety of reasons. The IB Career Program is an additional credential that is out there for students that, for the diploma, may not be the best option, but it is a recognized credential. I'm not going to go into the specific details of it. I'll give you a brief overview. Students in the career program have to take 2 IB classes instead of the 6 that Ms. Darby mentioned. They have to take a world language class, but then at that point they get to pick an area of interest. So maybe they have a passion for business, or maybe they have a passion for music, and they take sort of a pathway towards that. And then that will give them this credential, this opportunity to earn this credential. So we see this as an opportunity not necessarily to pull from the diploma or take away, but to really work side by side with and maybe grow the opportunities that are available to our students. We've had students who otherwise were more than capable of doing the diploma, but for scheduling reasons couldn't fit it, or they were taking all advanced music classes and they felt that that was the best pathway forward. That would be a perfect example of a student who might benefit from something like this. Or a student who doesn't want to go through the full 6 courses, but has a really specific interest in an area that with courses that we already offer and wants the credential, might be able to go that route also. So I've asked Ms. Darby to start an exploratory committee with staff and administrators, and we've had that first meeting, and we're looking forward to continuing the momentum to see where it fits and if it's something that would work for Rockville Center. I give a shout out to Ms. Dalton and Mr. Rosenthal, assistant principal at the high school, as well as our teacher leaders in special ed. They've worked really hard at creating expanded work-based learning opportunities for our students in our special education programs. In addition to that, they've really made an emphasis to focus on transition. So we know that those students, we want to make sure that we are setting them up for when they leave us after 12th grade, that they feel ready, that they feel like they know what their next step is. So we look forward to continuing that for those groups of students and all of our students. And then last but not least, I would just point out that we're constantly having our eyes on the Blue Ribbon Commission. It happens often where we're discussing whether it's a group of teachers or administrators, and we talk about a new idea or a new program, and we find ourselves using the language like, oh, that could be a new pathway potentially, or that could be something that we carve into like a credential or an opportunity. So we just wanted to report out that we're ready for these changes. We're anticipating more information, but we know that we're well positioned, notably because the Blue Ribbon Commission actually said themselves they've used the IB as a model for some of these changes. So we feel very confident that Rockville Center is poised to be ready for those changes as they come forward. And then just in last, a great amount of thanks to our staff and dedicated staff and faculty, our administrators, and our Board of Education and Central Administration for their ongoing support of our programs. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Walsh. Thank you, Ms. Darby. I'll turn it over to the board for comments or questions.
Thank you so much for the presentation. Covered a ton of ground, so I appreciate that. And I guess I'll preface by saying I think there's so many highlights to be proud of, from the number of kids taking higher level math courses or college level courses or being eligible for college credit, to all the clubs, to it isn't just about tests and data. So I do believe we provide a very well-rounded experience for all of our students. And even just looking at the mission statement, creativity, character, integrity, those are some key words that I think we're doing a really good job of trying to highlight in all the things that we do. That said, some of the data has me a little bit concerned. So you spoke at the beginning about the advanced designation, regions with advanced designation, that it's declined the rate. Can you just provide a little more detail on what accounts for that?
Yeah, so the class of 2025 was a small class. Our graduating class was about 231 students. And to start there, anytime you have a small group like that, small groups of students, small numbers of students move certain percentages, right? So that's one factor. We've also looked at the enrollment trends within that particular cohort of students also. We had a significantly higher number of transfer students that entered that cohort. When we looked even deeper at that, students come in at various points in their career too, right? We'll get transfers in the 9th grade level, 10th, 11th, and 12th. What we found was that the vast majority of transfer students that came in the 9th and 10th grade ended up earning the Advanced Regents Diploma, because we still had time to work with those students and it made sense within their program. The vast majority of students who came to us in 11th and 12th grade, had they not been set up in their prior school to be ready for that, would have required us to make what we felt were unnecessary adjustments to their schedule just to get a diploma. So sometimes we'll get, for example, we'll get students coming back from private school, maybe in the 11th or 12th grade year, that don't have the 3 math Regents exams because the school didn't offer it. So we're left with the decision of what do we do, what's best for the student at this point in their career? Do we make them sit for 3 math exams when that would be the only benefit for them, getting that diploma, even though they've taken those courses already and it's after the fact? Sometimes we'll get students from schools that they were not on track for it to begin with, so we have to determine, is it the best course of action for those students going forward? I think just societally, we're also dealing with questions and challenges with workload and student mental health that we're constantly balancing. So when we work with families, it's we will encourage them to do it because we want to help them persevere and we want to give them every opportunity. And there's no situation where a student is discouraged from going for it. But there are a lot of factors, I think, that go into whether or not a student earns it. And we try to work with each family on what is the best course of action, the student and the parent, about what that looks like.
Okay, that's helpful. I appreciate the insight. I guess we'll take a look, if the trend changes a little bit for next year. And I appreciate that everything should be individual to a kid, not just part of a broad, prescribed plan that doesn't work for that individual student. I just want to make sure that we're pushing kids appropriately, right? So there's something to be said for not pushing too much, but there's also something to be said for pushing enough so that they can rise to those challenges and we give the appropriate support in the process. So
yeah, I agree, and I'm just going to add to that.
Yep.
This is an ongoing conversation that we have with our counseling department. So these conversations are not happening in a vacuum, right? This involves a lot of stakeholders and something that we've been tracking for time now. So we want to be proactive with it and make sure that, just what you said, that students are at the appropriate level of challenge and that, we're giving them the opportunity to succeed and encouraging them to do that. That will never change. That is what we stand for, and that's something that we will continue to do.
that's important. And I think as they get older, I think the kids graduating now and then graduating college, I think that's a real area of concern, just generally speaking, that building resilience and building the ability to take on a challenge and push yourself a little bit. A second question I had was specific to Algebra 2, actually, because I'm just curious. So a few years ago, we implemented at the middle school level, the team taught Algebra 1 class. And my hope was that in doing that, we would see that that class would lead to improvements at the high school level as well. I'm curious if you're seeing if you have anything you could comment on in terms of if you think that's making an impact. Our passing rates seem fairly consistent, but our mastery rates are, below the Nassau County rate. So I'm just curious, any thoughts you have on that?
Yeah, so I think anytime we can strengthen the algebra skills at the lower levels, we're gonna see help and support with that. So I think in terms of the mastery rate, one of the most important things to look at, and one of the slides indicated, was the concept of participation. So I think we are having more kids take Algebra 2 than the county. So in terms of the mastery rate, that is an impact. Having them come with more skills underneath, I think, is a really important idea. It would be more, I would be curious to get more information from the math teachers if specifically the algebra skills are something. We can definitely look into that. Because again, like I mentioned in the presentation, our goal is mastery. We were aiming for that. And while the passing rate is strong, I think the mastery is impacted by the number of students who take it. Our quantity of kids who get mastery is a very high number, because we have such a high percentage of students taking it. So it's definitely something to look at. It's an area of exploration, I think, for us, especially noting the model that they have at the middle school. Definitely get more information on that.
Yeah, that would be appreciated. Thank you. And then one of my, I have a lot of thoughts, but my final question, in terms of like what you're going to see. So you mentioned global, right? And noticing that an area of weakness was in the essay, right? And we're doing now the writing revolution this year. So are we seeing like, what are the concrete things that have changed in terms of instruction and assessment related to that? Or are those changes coming next year after the professional development this year?
So we've already started to see teachers incorporating the strategies in classrooms already. We've had some teachers that have been trained already prior to this year. So this is for some teachers a refresher and a build upon that have already had capacity in it. So teachers are already incorporating this. When we go around in classrooms, we're seeing things on walls, posters where kids are using kernel sentences and expanding sentences. So it is starting to catch on, there's no question. In terms of specifically instructionally, one tweak we made this year was we asked our departments to create their midterms earlier than we have in the past. And the reason behind that was we wanted our teachers to be able to work backwards and have more time to know the end results, so that backwards by design model. So while it's always been encouraged to have it done in advance, we set a more firm timeline earlier in the year so that every teacher knew, all right, well, here's where my kids need to be by January, with significant amount of time during the school year for instruction to match some of those skills. So in terms of making sure that the midterm has things like the enduring issues essay, for example, with global, so that that is taught and explicitly taught throughout the year leading up to the exam. Using the gap reports to identify whether topics that maybe needed to be either reinforced additionally or are areas of strength that we can build upon and things of that nature. So those are some of the concrete things.
Appreciate that. Again, thank you for your time and the presentation. And at this point, I'll turn it over to the next person. Thanks.
Thank you very much to both of you for your presentation and for the support from our other administrators here. We appreciate you. You answered one of my questions. I was going to ask about the math numbers. I noticed that they had gone down, but you mentioned that the class is smaller. So I guess I'll turn that into a question about enrollment. That class was coming in 2021, so that was a kind of coming out of COVID class year. It was an odd year for us. We dipped down enrollment-wise. Seems like we steadied for the class that will graduate this year. Can you give us a little trajectory about the classes since then? Have our enrollments stayed above that low 230 mark? Or are we more steady than we had been there?
So it's a little bit of a mix. So our current senior class this year is at 261, which is a very healthy number for the building. Our current junior class is a small group. It's about 214, 215 students. Our sophomore class bounces back a little bit, 246, and our current freshmen are 235. So it's the short answer is it varies. So it's I think part of our work has been bringing the 8th graders up to the high school in January, like we did last year, to try to showcase the great things that are happening at the high school and the opportunities that are there, so we can encourage students to continue to stay in Rockville Center Schools. That's has been one of our goals. So it's somewhat it fluctuates a little bit. And that's where we are at the current enrollment.
Yeah, so it makes me think about, just even taking the last several years and all the things that have been added, and I know you highlighted a lot of that here, which I appreciate for people. Sometimes you hear these presentations, and until you're going through the high school and you're really able to avail yourself of it, you really don't even realize how much is actually available. It makes me think that maybe there's, and I know we do a great open house, but maybe there's an education process we could put out to those that don't attend the high school, not outside of an open house, but more something to kind of grasp and really understand what's offered here, because it does play a factor later, for students. So I think that we do offer so much and we continue, and you keep evolving. This building has evolved so many times. The way you ended the presentation was just about more to come. What else are we going to do? So if we're having these fluctuating enrollments, I would say, let's see what else we could do to educate our community about the amazing things that are offered here, because it does make a difference later for students. To that end, I have two questions about offerings. One was about language. So I noticed that obviously our Spanish cohort is very large. It always has been. We've been teaching, since first grade Spanish, and it's a part of our culture here. French is lower. Notice we didn't really have we had no numbers for HL French in last year's class. Can we talk about what our conversation is about language expansion? Is French in danger of getting too low? Are we seeing students keep enrolling at a healthy, level in French? And then with Italian, since I know we're not talking about assessments in it, can you give us an idea of how we're doing in enrollments there too?
Yeah, sure. So it's been very consistent. We've usually had a small group of students that elect to choose French. We've always been able to run it. The numbers have always been enough for us to offer at least one section, but it usually hovers around that mark. Mm-hmm. As far as Italian, we've ran sections of that also. Miss Bonanno has been our Italian teacher. That offers a great opportunity for students that just need an additional their original language credit, that weren't able to meet success in the lower and first level Spanish or French, just to provide an additional option for that. But yes, the French numbers have historically been low like that. So, but we forecast and foresee it's still running and still having a need to run, but it is just a more, specific group. And I'm going to just turn to my my partner, Ms. Green, to see if I missed anything as it relates to world language.
You'll find that the numbers in French, that's typical for what's
Okay.
happening on Long Island. The numbers are low. Programs are folding in schools because of low enrollment in French.
And I know we've had a hard time finding language teachers over the years because it's such a specific thing. And we've luckily had amazing teachers that can teach multiple languages, so we've been very lucky. But, I like to keep those types of programs strong as best we can, so it's good to hear it's at least consistent, even if the numbers are lower than Spanish, which I expect anyway. Do we have an update on the status of the SEALs? And the development of the SEALs? I know we had a presentation last year about that, and we're mentioning the two here, the biliteracy and the SEALs of civic readiness, but where are we with determining more possible SEALs for students?
So do you mean additional SEALs?
Yeah, additional SEALs.
Yeah, so we've actually started to frame out, a lot of the conversation started with our exploration of the CP program, actually. When we visited the school a couple of years ago that had it, it prompted us to start mapping out certain pathways. So Kelly Ramsey, our Director of Counseling, has already started that work. So we've started to look at pathways in STEM, pathways in arts, music and arts, pathways in business. And based on some of the new courses that we've had, some of the ones we're kind of exploring, we were hoping for potential of one and maybe sort of like potentially like a health and science, like in that realm. So we've started to map those out. We have a number of kids, as you very well know, that are interested in business. So we know that that's one we have and it's ready to go. Computer science has been an area too. So there's a lot of, especially in the last couple of years, a lot more opportunity for us to create those. So yes, we've already been starting to map those out. We're excited to see what they turn into and what they could potentially blossom into. And we're excited for that.
That's great. So I guess my final comment is just that, we could dig in on the data and we can say we want to improve one section over another, and we'll fluctuate with how many students take things. So all of that considered, I think 3 really important questions that we answer well here. To start, do we offer rigor? And are our students, is it accessible to them? And is there a value to it? And we can answer all 3 of those questions in the affirmative at this district. So when you get to the college level and you go to open houses and you go to information sessions, it's the number one thing that these schools will say. Did you take the most rigorous coursework that your school offered? And we live in a microcosm here of competitive schools of Long Island, New York, and we're so lucky to be surrounded by this access to education. But when you really pan out and you look at what's available at other schools, we are very, very lucky here. So, to me, that tells another story that you can't capture in numbers, but is so important for the students graduating from this district and how they're able to be successful when they leave us. So congratulations for, everything you do in this building. I think it's spectacular. We have amazing students going on to do amazing things. So instead of nitpicking at data and numbers, I just want to compliment you because those are 3 really important questions that I would ask if my student was coming here. So thank you very much.
Thank you for the presentation. Just some of my thoughts. I have similar concerns to Mrs. Gruner related to the Advanced Regents Diploma. And I think my level of concern is really elevated by the fact that 100% of that cohort would have taken algebra or science, world language, and an art credit in 8th grade. So they came in with 4 credits, or they could potentially have come in with 4 credits if they passed those. And the Advanced Regents Diploma is one of the reasons that the district has perennially defended the Acceleration for All model. So to see this dip is alarming to me. I think it's also curious to hear that kids are electing out of our most rigorous classes junior and senior year, which is preventing them from earning this Advanced Regents Diploma, which makes me wonder a little bit about burnout. And if we left middle school to be middle school, if kids would still be engaged in higher level classes when they become juniors and seniors, because they hadn't been engaged in rigorous, difficult coursework from the time that they were 12 or 13 years old. Related to the Advanced Regents Diploma, I also noticed that we're below the county average for economically disadvantaged students, which is upsetting, and I would just like to know how we explain that. With the amount of resources that we have here, the comparably low number of economically disadvantaged students that we have compared to some other districts, how are we leaving them behind?
So the Advanced Regents Diploma number is definitely a number that we're certainly looking at. There's no question about it, and it's something that we've given great foresight to. We do expect it to bounce back to numbers that we're more typically seeing, so there are some elements within this cohort that we're looking through, not because it's an excuse necessarily, but because we work with people, and every kid is unique and different, and we're doing our very best to support them and meet them where they are. We have a number of programs in place to support students who are economically disadvantaged. I mentioned the Liberty Partnerships program. Our various social workers and counselors work diligently to make sure that these students who, many of whom have significant hurdles in their background and at home, that they're not only supported academically, but they're supported from a social emotional lens too, which is really equally important, if not more. So there are a number of different things we can do. We'll look at those numbers and obviously see if that's a trend, because that is not a trend in this building. I do think that is an outlier, but it is worth exploring because it is important to us, and it's critical that we're serving these students. So we agree on that. So we will continue to look at it, and we'll continue to monitor and make sure that we're providing opportunities for these students to be supported. And if there's things that we can be doing differently, we will certainly do that.
I appreciate that. I don't want to see any of our kids being left behind, especially
Agreed.
our neediest students. I also, similarly, looking at the data, I think the mastery rates, especially in our advanced maths and sciences, they're a little disappointing. I understand that we have a large percentage of our students who take these classes because we open access to them, which is wonderful. But I would argue that the majority of the highest performing school districts on Long Island have very similar percentage of students taking those classes. I can say in the district that I teach in, I would say probably 70 to 80% of our students, if not more, are taking those classes, and our mastery rates are above 60%. So it's just, again, the comparable piece where, in my mind, Rockville Center should be one of the highest performing school districts on Long Island. And I think a lot of families moved to this town because that is what they thought that they were getting from the district. And I'm not saying that we don't have the potential to be, or that, a student sitting in an IB physics class here is not receiving the same education they might be receiving in an AP physics class somewhere else, or that our teachers are not equally as good. It's just really painful to see these results, that only 34% of our kids are getting an 85 or better on a geometry regents, which, like, a passing grade is really like a 40. And that's the piece that I feel like I can't move past, where I get you just have to be proficient, but I can never hang my hat on proficiency, not in this school district. So again, like, my question with these classes are, why is it that we're seeing the lowest numbers in these classes? Is it because of our model? Is it because our kids don't have that strong foundation in math and science that some of them probably really need before they're ready to jump into these things? And I know that I harp on this every single year, but we have the same results every single year. And to me, that's systematic. That's like not our kids, it's not a teacher, it's not a cohort. There's a systematic error somewhere where, yes, it's great that we can give kids access to these classes and that we can get them to calculus, but only 30% of the kids even took calculus. Another 30% don't seem to have taken any math at all senior year. So like, while yes, the end goal is we want to make sure you can get to that rigor that exists there, if we're just getting there like on proficiency and on our coattails, and then kids are dropping out because they've had enough, is that really worth it? And like, you don't need to give me an answer to this. This is just kind of like my thinking is I can't live with the fact that our mastery rates are low because we have a lot of kids who take the class, and because we have open access, because a larger percent take, because I don't think that's true comparative to Great Neck, to Herricks, to Garden City, to East Williston, to Syosset. I would bet that they have a similar number of their cohorts in those classes. And if I'm wrong, you can tell me I'm wrong, but I don't think that I am. And also looking like at our IB results, like we are below the global average across the board. And again, I understand we have kids in these classes, but again, I can tell you in the school district I teach in, 80% of our kids are taking AP US history. And we perform above the average, the national average, because it's AP. And some of these classes were far below the global average. I don't know, it's frustrating to me. Because I just don't think it shows the potential of our students, this district. I don't know. My really only question and request, I guess, because I could go on, is that in looking at our dual enrolled courses, I'm very happy to see all of the options that we have for kids there. I think it's excellent that we offer these things and that we have such an expanded offering of dual enrolled courses. But the one thing I'm noticing is that the majority of these courses tend towards a certain student. They tend towards the IB student, or they tend towards the business student, with a couple of other ones smattered in there. I'm wondering, why don't we dual enroll our US 11 Regents class, or our government and economic participation in whatever we offer for participation in government and economics? Why are those not dual enrolled?
So we have opportunities to explore avenues for that. We can certainly look into that. We've also been trying to be methodical and thoughtful about how we roll this out and what opportunities we're giving to students in that regard. It's an area we can take a look at. It depends on the university's willingness to accept it. We've been looking at, as you can see, we've expanded those opportunities. It's an opportunity for us to take a look and see if that's an area where we can offer and open more doors for students. We can certainly take a look at it. It hasn't been something we've explored yet, but we can look into that. We're also balancing the need of the various classes that we offer. As you can see, we're up to 25 classes that we have at the high school. Where does it fit in, and where do we see ourselves settling in terms of offerings? Do we continue to expand? Are we looking to add to more? That'll be a conversation, I think, as a district that we have to answer.
Which is understandable. I just feel like you have a certain set of students who are never going to take an IB class, and they're never going to take a business class, so they have no opportunity to earn any credits. Stony Brook will dual enroll your US 11 class for 6 college credits, and they'll dual enroll your 12th grade class for 3. And that way you have, when we talk about open access, when we talk about opportunity for all, it has to be across the board. So if we could look into it, I would appreciate it. And if we could also look into the systems that guide our middle school philosophy of accelerating everyone, I would really appreciate that too. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Walsh. Ms. Darby, Mr. Gavin, did you have anything to add?
I
Or
just had one question. Patrick, with the dual enrollment classes, we do have music classes that we've added over the last few years. We've also added the language classes and a few of the business classes, including fashion marketing, and we've also added creative writing. So we're we've been
Correct.
working to expand our opportunities for all sorts of students, so not just, focused in terms of one on IB. The other question I had is when we talked about the Advanced Regents Diploma, especially for our students with economically disadvantaged students, one of the things that you spoke about before, it picked it up for me. We had a very highly mobile, which is unusual for us, cohort for that particular class. And that mobility, I'm going to ask a question. I don't know the answer off the top of my head, but is that mobility also found with students that happen to be economically disadvantaged?
Yes, in a lot of cases. The students that we're getting, transfer students, tend to be students who are economically disadvantaged or potentially, yes.
So I don't think it's a one-for-one correspondence, but I'm sure
Right.
there would be some overlap in that.
That's
Okay,
correct.
so it was just one thing that I wanted to just bring back because I know that you had pointed out the fact that we did have which again is unusual for us, a highly mobile cohort that also, had an overlap but economically disadvantaged. So thank
Yep.
you for that. I appreciate it. And thank you for the presentation, you and Ms. Darby. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you, Dr. Walsh, Ms. Darby, thank you so much. Happy holidays to you and your families. Thank you. Turning to policy, we have at stage 1 tonight, 1310, powers and duties of the board. Ms. Gruner, I'm going to ask you just to walk us through the policies.
Sorry. Just rereading over, making sure everything's policies that we haven't reviewed or that haven't been reviewed recently. So no fundamental changes on this one.
Okay, thank you. Okay to move this to the next stage?
Yes.
2340, school board member ethics. We're going to be rescinding this.
So basically, this doesn't mean that we don't care about school board member ethics. It just is covered in another policy, so we didn't see the need to have a separate policy on this one.
Okay, thank you. And 5682, crisis response. We're also looking to rescind
Similar,
this.
all of this is covered in our school safety plans, and so we, again, just to streamline our policy manual, we're recommending to rescind this as well.
Okay, thank you. 5730, drug and alcohol testing for school bus drivers and other safety.
Yeah, so there was just some updates. Well, the policy itself hadn't been looked at in quite some time, but there were some updates from the state that we made changes to. Most of this is handled by the bus companies themselves, and they are made aware of our policy and New York State requirements. So again, just updating to be in compliance.
Okay to move this? And 5740, qualification of bus drivers.
Similar to the other policy, just again, updating to be in compliance. And again, it hasn't been reviewed in quite some time.
Thank you. Okay to move this? Okay. Currently at stage 2, we have 1120, Board of Education Authority. We reviewed this last time. Are we okay to move this? 5691, communicable diseases. Okay to move this as well? 5692, HIV-related illness. Okay to move this? 5692R, HIV-related illness for employees specifically. And 5692R.1, HIV-related illness for students. Okay to move these as well? 5710, transportation program. Okay to move this? 5720, student transportation services. Move this as well? And 5721, special use of school buses. Okay to move this. Currently at stage 3, we have 5684, use of surveillance cameras in the school district. Okay to move this as well for approval at the next meeting? Thank you. Mr. Gavin, opportunity for superintendent.
Thank you, President Barry. As we heard from the high school today, community partnerships remain a cornerstone of our strategic plan. Guided by our board's vision, we are actively expanding opportunities for both students and staff. Patrick highlighted one of our collaborations with Malloy, which has really flourished this year, yielding significant benefits across our district. For our students, this partnership has provided financial investment classes, access to Malloy's Bloomberg Lab to pursue professional certification, as well as summer college experiences for our Pathway students. Malloy also donated money for the championship sign that our athletes will be updating very shortly in December. For our staff, the partnership continues to focus on professional growth. This January, we are co-hosting a EDU AI Summit on artificial intelligence with Malloy. Rather than offering prescriptive answers, this conference aims to foster collaboration. By observing and learning from other districts about how they are implementing AI, we can all learn to navigate this rapidly evolving technology together. We will be seeing presentations from 13 different districts, from East Williston to Belmar Merrick to Coxsackie, Athens. We will also have several of our own RVC educators presenting about how we have thoughtfully looked to approach the use of artificial intelligence to work with our students and enhance their thinking, not replace it. We are happy to say that Molloy professors will be presenting their perspectives as college professors and how AI is impacting their role at the college and university level. Our collective goal is to take a balanced approach, critically analyzing why we use artificial intelligence to ensure that it has a positive impact on student learning. We look forward to the insights that this conference and our ongoing partnership with Molloy will bring. We wish the entire, this is our last meeting before we go for the holiday, so I want to take the opportunity to wish the entire RVC public schools community a peaceful and joyous holiday season with family and friends, and we look forward to seeing you all in 2026 as we continue to grow. And on a personal note, I want to thank the board for their support and their service, as well as our administrative and faculty staff for their professionalism and the care that they show our students each and every day. Finally, I must recognize the cabinet members seated to my left. I am deeply grateful for the exceptional leadership and hard work this team has delivered this year. Happy holidays, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Gavin. Opportunity for board members. Mrs. Messier.
Thank you. I'd like to start by congratulating all of our athletes. It was incredible to hear all of the success that we had this fall. I'd also like to congratulate the members of the Drama Guild. Puffs was fabulous, and I was so glad that you were able to have it here in the auditorium, and I'm looking very forward to seeing your spring production. I'd also like to congratulate all of our musicians on a successful winter concert season. And to the community, I'd like to wish everyone a happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, and joyous Kwanzaa, and a happy and healthy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Hackett.
Yeah, echo congratulations to our student athletes. They're really impressive, and to our cast of Puffs. That was amazing. So the other thing I want to say was Happy Inclusive Schools Week. I think that we're, something that Rockville Center really shines in is the way that we are about every student, and every student fits in here and can achieve here. So I think that we do a great job in this. I think our district philosophy is one that others should really take note of and emulate. So I wanted to say that. Want to congratulate Patrick McGuire and Lydia on their awards. I think that's fantastic. And on a personal note, I just wanted to wish somebody a very happy retirement, Brian Jones. If you know Brian, you love him. He's somebody who supported our district for many years, does amazing work in the community, and really looks out for our children. So I just want to wish him a very happy, healthy retirement, and just thank him for his service. He's just a fantastic human. So good luck to you, Brian. And happy holidays to everybody. Happy New Year. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Mrs. Gruner.
I'll just echo what everybody else said, and I wish everybody a wonderful holiday and a happy New Year.
Same. Wishing my fellow board members and everyone seated to my left, Mr. Gavin, Mrs. Celebrity, Cabinet, thank you, and best wishes to you and your families for a happy holiday and healthy New Year. Opportunity for visitors. The public is reminded to address questions or remarks to the board through its president. It's requested to refrain from making any direct references to students or staff members that could be considered critical of their performance or their character. Such references to the individual students or staff members are inappropriate in a public forum and should instead be conducted in private conversation with appropriate members of the staff. The public is asked to state their name and address and to please limit their comments to 3 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. Mr. Gavin, I want to compliment you on your leadership in this district. Your selection of an AD who's doing an outstanding job. I go to many jurisdictions as citizen taxpayer and hear from students. And this young lady, I'm sorry she's not here, please pass on I was impressed with her report, much better than other districts. And I know that's because you met with her, you spoke with her. She said that in her remarks. In other districts, I didn't hear that. So thank you. I'll put my glasses on 1 second. I was glad that you approved the HVAC system, HVAC, at the Friday night meeting that I couldn't go to and wouldn't go to. But I have one unanswered question. I think you know that question. Why can't we connect this building like I was promised on 2 previous occasions. This is appropriate, we're in the auditorium tonight. Why can't we connect this with a transfer switch? I was told by more than one HVAC, if you can't do it now, you did an emergency job, and put it in next year's budget. But I think it would make sense for the auditorium to share with the gym when the gym is not in use. This is my 3rd appeal. If the school board, whoever can do this, I'll make them Employee of the Month, if they can make this happen. Back to the superintendent's compensation, which was the front page of the Newsday article, which they trot out every year. I wrote a letter to the editor telling them that this school districts should compensate their superintendents fairly based upon their performance, and it shouldn't be the subject of Newsday. And if the taxpayers and voters of the district were unsatisfied with it, they should vote out the school board. Newsday decided not to print my letter to the editor. But it's not the first time I've been censored, and probably won't be the last time. Finally, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year, and joyous Kwanzaa.
Same to you. Thank you.
I wasn't planning on speaking. Barry Hockhauser, 96 Shepherd Street. You should probably turn the hat as a free advertisement for Remax that way, but I won't. The IB program is a great program, and it should be continued. And the presentation that the principal and the administrators gave was phenomenal. Personal story. My daughter, oldest daughter, went to University of Michigan. They do not like giving out money to non-citizens of the state of Michigan. Out-of-state tuition is painful, but they do give out credits. And she had a full semester's worth of credits off of the IB program. She was not a business person. She was not a science person. She was an arts kid. She played softball, varsity softball, but got a full semester's worth of credits. She lived there that semester, but I made her work. But the bottom line is, do not get rid of that program, because that program is a great option for students who may not be the best test takers. It gives them an opportunity to do something a little bit differently and get recognized for it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
You too. Thank you.
Quick follow-up on that note. Jeff Greenfield, citizen taxpayer. I, too, benefited financially by my daughter at Michigan, benefited by this IB program, okay? But my son in Indiana, it cost me money, because he then, the second semester, he was then classified as a junior, and I promised him a car in the junior year. So it cost me money there. But otherwise, it's a good program. I support it. I wanted to follow up, Barry.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Trish Montemarano. I'm a teacher at Watson School.
I'm Shauna Starman, also a teacher at Watson School.
Oh, by the way, I just feel I have to interrupt 1 second. It was just so wonderful to see the 3 Barry Watson alum.
They were thrilled to see both of you.
Yeah, it was so
finally
great.
stopped crying.
Yes, it was wonderful.
Thank you.
We're very proud of them.
Thank you.
So many former students we saw.
Yeah, it was great. So many former students on all athletic teams. We were commenting through the whole thing. It was great. Except they just changed so much that we can't. Sometimes like, is that Madalena?
So, good evening. We are proud and grateful to be here to give a glimpse into the heart of our Watson world. Watson's always abuzz with activities, but we are never too busy to remember what connects us, and there's so much that bonds us together. We all have a story, and the one we are writing together at Watson is certainly a bestseller. Together, we have immersed ourselves in connection and communication, starting with our evening of enrichment, highlighting the art of conversation. We have come together to celebrate our veterans during our annual Veterans Day Field of Honor ceremony. We laughed as we watched our staff give it their all in our Halloween play. and we had an absolute blast at the turkey trot as we worked hard to save all the turkeys. From our dedicated staff to our tireless PTA, students' days are full of wonder. They are making memories at every turn. Our partnership with songwriter Brian Chevalier has led to the creation of Watson's new school song, written by our 4th and 5th graders, which will be making its debut very soon. Storyteller Heather Forrest will be coming to work with our younger grades and their families on ways to harness their stories. These experiences are made possible through the amazing RVC Education Foundation, to which we are very grateful.
During this holiday season, life is busy at Watson, with the National Circus Project, winter concerts, field trips, and celebrations, and parent-teacher conferences. We wanted to take a moment during this hectic time to stop and say thank you to all of you for your support and enthusiasm. Watson is most certainly its own little family, but we are even prouder to be part of the Rockville Center Schools family. We wish each of you an incredible holiday season filled with joy, and we look forward to making many more magical moments together in 2026.
Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is June Clark. I'm a parent here in Rockville Center. I have 2 kids in the district. As I sat here today, there was a lot of talk about athletics and change and supporting students, etc. And for a brief moment, I thought that maybe that all of that was true. I'm here today to talk about the girls' varsity soccer team. My daughter has played on the team for 2 years now, and I have written to the board, I've written to the school administration, so I'm here to put my statement on public. For the past 2 years, I have watched that soccer team. I know you guys said that, we have to keep it neutral, but I've watched that soccer team and I've seen the unfairness to the players on that soccer team, the inequity, the way the girls are treated, the fact that not all girls are given the opportunity of playtime. Most of them stand on the sideline game after game. They're treated as spectators, cheerleaders. It seems like the administration and the coaches don't appreciate the sacrifice that these girls put in. There's a huge sacrifice of time. They practice 2 hours a day, 6 days a week. They give it their all. I've seen my daughter give it her all, going to every practice. And then when game time comes, there's no playing time for her. We've spoken to the administrators. I hear that I've spoken to the athletic director, the coaches. I hear time and time again, playing time is not guaranteed. But I don't think that's true, because I see a lot of girls on the field, the same girls. You've got a team of 28 girls, 11 girls play in a game on the field at the same time. What happens to the rest of them? Are they not given any opportunity? Why are they on the varsity team? Are they not good enough? What is the administrators teaching these girls? That you put your heart and soul into something you love, and then you're not good enough to when it comes time for game time. That only the coach's favorite girls are on the field all of the time. It is unfair. And I really need to see a change in that. Like, what are you guys teaching our young women? And it's possible this happens in the other athletic fields, but I can only speak to what I see in girls' varsity soccer.
Thank you for your comments.
Am I only allotted a certain number?
Yeah, 3
Okay.
minutes. Thank
All
you,
right.
Ms. Clark. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Can I have a motion to approve items for action O1 through R12? Second? Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Second? All in favor? Aye. Thank you, everyone. Have a happy holiday and happy new year. We'll see you January 15th for our next meeting.